Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what's going on there. Yeah. So not E3 took place, and every company did its not E3 show so far. I mean, look, to curate, because there's a whole bunch of them, but we're not going to go through certainly all of that.
Hey, curate, just skip that whole Capcom event.
Okay.
Literally nothing.
All right.
Literally nothing.
So, with Capcom, I will say, like, so they showed off a cross dive offline, where I'm like, hey, it's not a mobile thing anymore. I wonder what that game is actually like. I might even consider taking a look. But regardless, yeah, Dragon's Dogma, you got some information that was kind of what was already out there.
There was nothing.
Well,
they said it's going to be a really big map. That is the only new piece of information. They did that thing where they don't have anything to show, so they cut pieces out of the trailer and pretend they're new clips.
Here's the two things that I want to know about. One, Path of the Goddess. This new, what was it called? Is Path of the Goddess. There's another name before that.
It's got a Japanese name prior to that.
Kunitsugami.
Yeah, but it's not listed in the title in English, so it's hard to remember.
Yeah, that thing looks really colorful and interesting. The art direction is quite beautiful. I like anything that even vaguely reminds me of Onimusha and Okami. So
I thought it was going to be Onimusha when I first
really,
saw it.
really did. Yeah, you're seeing yokai and things like that, but it's just like ancient, like folklore Japan as the aesthetic, and we don't know anything about what the gameplay is going to look like, but it's very pretty to look at, certainly. Interested to see what Capcom is doing with that. And then the other one was remember that astronaut with the little girl game from last time?
I started my stream today, and somebody said, "Do you think we'll see Paramelcus or whatever the it is?"
Pragmata.
I go, I don't know what that is. Pragmata. Do you think you'll see Pragmata? I go, I don't remember what that is. And then they do a little trailer where they go, "Sorry, it's delayed out to infinity," and then the apology letter comes onto the screen, and I'm sitting there going, I don't remember this game existing at all.
I vaguely do recall the trailer where it was an astronaut, and then he is holding a little girl's hand, and then they teleport to the moon, and then they're looking at the Earth.
Sure.
And
delay it, I guess.
So here was another cutscene, and then it cut to like 2 seconds of gameplay, which has the guy in the armor kind of running, and he dodges a sword, and then he runs from a bunch of missiles, and it's just running and dodging, but it had like a little bit of a Vanquish feel for like a second. And I'm just like, I don't know what this is going to be.
Years. It feels like a game that doesn't exist.
But I had my brain had a little like moment of like Vanquish. I don't know.
You fucking wish, dude.
I do wish. Yes. Magical thinking. Let's wish it into the world. No. Yeah, that was pretty much Capcom. Not much to say there. I'd like to find out more with this Path of the Goddess thing.
The only thing of note is the Ace Attorney game, the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney games are coming to most platforms. So now you can play Ace Attorney 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And great Ace Attorney 1 and 2 on Steam or the Switch or PlayStation 4 or whatever. You can finally play all those games without doing like the Android or iOS versions.
Ubi Forward, they did it.
How's the boat game?
I mean, they played the music from the boat game. How about that?
Oh, did they?
Yeah. No, look, I saw they had Assassin's Creed Mirage, which we've talked about that already last time. We don't need to go back over it, but hey, we're doing one again. It's a homage to one because it's been that long, right?
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
Okay.
Fuck it.
Star Wars Outlaws. I feel as if maybe this is like, hey, you're never getting 1313, but here's this.
Also, it was a CG trailer that had nothing in it.
From the people that made The Division, so I'm thinking it's kind of just like, this is your 1313. You better fucking.
Hey, Wooly, look into my
camera.
To live with it. Get Division people. Ooh, get really excited.
Okay. I was hoping for 1313 long ago, and anyways, Yeah, Outlaws. They did show some gameplay actually. There was the initial one during the
Oh yeah,
Xbox
the
one,
Ubi thing.
and then the Ubi thing showed a whole sequence where she like snuck through a factory and then ran out and did a deal and stuff. And
Hold on, I'll go look at that and then come back with a different snide comment.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just have to see. But I have to say though, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I'm in. I'm very interested. Seeing a little bit more of that, the Metroidvania aspects, of course, the Prince of Persia Classic, which that vibe to platforming and stuff, and then the combat looks pretty fucking hype. I saw launchers, I saw some air combos, and I saw the time mechanic where you put a ghost behind you, do a combo, launch them up, teleport back to the ghost, and then resume from the other side. And it's like, yeah, fucking with time in the middle of your stylish combos is a ton of fun. Pop Lost Crown looks pretty sick, man.
So I thought that was like an XBLA title. That's a full-priced game. I thought that was gonna be like a $20.
I guess because of the camera perspective, you'd think maybe, but if it's a full game, it's a full game, man. But I'm seeing the wall traversal. I saw air dashes and all that shit, and I'm like, yeah, okay, you got me on that one. I'm interested.
All right,
in
I'm calling this Star Wars Outlaw game Watch Porgs.
Watch Porgs. It's not a dog. It's not a
because
watchdog.
I'm watching it. It's Watch Dogs. It's just Watch Dogs in Star Wars.
Yeah. So they kind of that was pretty much that. And then Microsoft had their naughty 3 as well. And okay, so
one was fairly interesting.
A couple things there. Fable is back, and Fable's tone and cutscene were like, yeah, that's the funny Fable. That's cool.
England.
Yep. But of course, we're gonna have to see a bit more gameplay. I think it was just mainly the sequence of running from the giant that was kind of there. But South of Midnight, cutscene only trailer. Sure. 33 Immortals,
same thing, only trailer.
Senua's Sacrifice, really like the first game. Looking forward to where they go with that game, because I already know what they did last time. I'm pretty excited about. And the binaural audio in the trailer is still fucking killing it with the sounds of just voices and the like really amazing depiction of just like the schizophrenia of her, just like taking over and stuff. It's really, really cool. I love that stuff. But yes, cutscenes only, of course. 33 Immortals, a game where you are rogueliking with 33 other people at the same time. I saw the animation and I was like, I recognize that animation. That looks like Jotun. And sure enough, it is from the same studio that made Jotun. We'll see what that's like, but 32 people to be toxic to in one campaign, goddamn.
Works for me.
let's see what happens, man. Persona 3 Reload.
Hey, wow. What a surprise! That was... Couldn't believe it!
God damn it, we are never getting P5 Arena. We're never getting it.
Don't lose hope.
I mean...
Oh, you mean Persona 3 Reload featuring Makoto Yuki from Streets?
Yeah, so Persona 3 Reload, I'm actually super fucking jazzed on that, especially because, like, my wife was going through it, and, like, she was struggling with P3P, the 5 was great, 4 was older but still great, 3 was just a bit too brutal with the grind through Tartarus, I think, and it looks like 3 Reload is giving it the treatment of P5, so that's going to be a really inviting way to get people to experience that, because that game has some really cool shit in it that is absolutely fucking worth not missing. Goddamn, do I love how the protagonist rolls in that.
Hey man, whatever. We get another remix of Heartful Cry. The game's totally worth it.
Know the answer. It
Fuck
seems.
yeah, that shit sucks.
So yeah.
Oh man, I saw a lot of people. I can't believe not all the content from P3 Fez is coming. What about the answer? I'm like, did you people even play the answer? That thing is terrible.
By the way, Gerald, we're rolling through a bunch of announcements that happened while you were sleeping, so don't worry about
figured.
it. Don't
I'm catching
worry
up. I'm
about
looking at the trailers right now while you're mentioning them. Like,
yeah,
oh, that looks
it's
cool. I
it's
don't know about
totally
that.
okay. I you know, some like guests have felt nervous in the past about not necessarily knowing what's going on or conversation or whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
It don't just I'm putting it out there for yeah.
No, this is great. This is like I'm watching the show with with the people watching the stream. So yeah, I'm just here in real time. It's I'm getting the news from you guys.
The worst possible place to get your news, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, okay, we saw the Obsidian Fantasy FPS Avowed.
Okay, whoa, stop. That's not that is not an FPS.
Okay.
What is up with
Okay.
Obsidian games?
Okay.
I made the Pillars of Eternity joke earlier. This game is also a Pillars of Eternity game.
Okay, it is the
It's an open world RPG.
Excuse me. I don't mean FPS in the shooter sense. Rather, I mean it is first person. It is a first person
Skyrim.
Obsidian.
That's the genre
Yes,
that it is emulating.
It is Skyrimming. But that's not the only. There's the other Skyrimming, which is the space rimming. Right, but even the space.
Oh man, they showed that game for an hour, and it.
Starfield. That's where I thought the Skyrim drop was going to come. So Bethesda showed off what I believe is being called, quote, the first new Bethesda IP in 25 years.
Yeah, they said they called it the most important RPG ever made in that show.
Wow.
And like you could just feel your gut just go, no. What the
okay. Give me a second to. Yeah, I'm gonna write down space rimming. So in Starfield, from what I can tell, when that was announced some time ago, there was a distinct "this is never coming out" vibe to the energy of that announcement.
There really was.
And that was some years ago. From what I can tell as well, there was a point where I think it was like, this is going to be third person walking around exploring, but first person combat. It was nice to see actually both third and first person for both exploration and combat.
Yeah, I mean that was
really
like gonna be how those
giving
always work.
The option. Yeah. Designing it. I mean, it takes a lot of work to make a game like designed one way or the other, and you know, there's oftentimes a commitment where it's like, this will be a subpar experience if you're playing it in the way it wasn't designed. Go see third person.
I'm going to tell you right now,
Edge.
it's going to be a subpar experience in third person.
Okay. Well,
I've played every Bethesda game that has come out that had a third person mode in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're going to want to play that in fucking first person.
Damn. They showed off first person and third person like spaceship control as well. Cockpit or behind your ship, you know, and I'm just someone who likes to see my character. I like to see the world and stuff. I really enjoy that. So,
maybe I'm just a cynical prick. But when we were watching, when I was watching the stream for the Starfield presentation, first of all, Bethesda's really tanked its reputation really hard with Fallout 76 in particular. But there was something that someone in my chat said that really stood out to me incredibly strongly, which was, it was an hour-long gameplay demonstration in which like 50% of the total runtime was footage of people talking in their office.
Yeah.
And gameplay footage was never allowed to extend for more than like 30 seconds. And we've seen a lot of those presentations over the past 5 to 10 years. And they kind of always mean the same thing, which is that the game is going to come out like fucked up.
Shoutouts to watching the live presentation a little bit later than live so that you can just mash forward when the gameplay isn't happening. Big fan of that. Atlantic City is gonna fix it. Anyway, we saw Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth with Naked Ichiban in Hawaii. That makes sense because there's
finally gonna do it.
Yeah,
the Like a Dragon series is going to take, at least in part, in America,
Japan and Hawaii are very connected, so that makes sense for it to be like that first step to Terrace House Hawaii season energy. Sure. I guess
so excited to see the people behind the zaniest depiction of Japan in modern video games
depicting America.
What they think the United States is like.
Oh my god. Damn. With the most I kind
also,
of
that dub is going to be nonsense. That is going to be a confusing dub.
So it's either going to be like the best possible like through the lens interpretation, or it'll be America, but there'll be a Lawson and a Combini right around the corner, regardless.
Oh, that'd be good.
Oh man, I'm very excited to see how that goes down.
There was a trailer for the Kiryu spinoff, The Man with No Name.
Yes,
in which his watch gives him like Spider-Man webs. Yeah, so like, and that series has like no attachment to the concept of reality whatsoever. So I would not be surprised if Ichiban gets like a fucking like magic watch that just translates everyone like a Star Trek translator.
Oh, a Babel fish through his.
Like I would be totally unsurprised.
Sure, the language barrier is not going to be an issue. Maybe, or better, it makes everyone else speak Japanese.
Yeah, sure. Fuck it.
And then the real reason why I'm like we're never getting P5 Arena is because it's like, okay, so we got a whole bunch of people working on Persona 3 Reload, and if you're not working on that, then you're working on Persona 5 Tactica, a tactical take on the P5 games, which they had their Striker spinoff. So like, I guess this is where the Etrian Odyssey spinoff would go, except they're going into a different genre here. And if they're not working on that, then whoever was left over at Atlas was working on Metaphor Refantasio.
You would expect to work on Persona 6 is actually working on Metaphor.
And Metaphor is a whole new Atlas, SMT looking, but not SMT thing. And it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks great.
I'm very excited for the design aesthetics that SMT and Persona have with their like UI and stuff coming through in just like a completely different context and different setting. Characters, designs, and all that stuff is like, I mean, fuck, like Catherine had a lot of that, right? Where you're like, ooh, it's that Atlas aesthetic going on in a completely different setting, and I love that that's going on here too as well. Looks fucking sick, man.
Yeah, Atlas is done with those stinky fighting games.
They did one, and they said never again.
No, they did one, and they were like, maybe one more. And then they did a second one, and they're like, okay, gross. That's enough.
Yeah. So maybe the best decision that they could make. Right?
P4 Arena is like one of my favorite of all time. Like, nothing hits like that one hits, and I was just this week lamenting, like, I mean, it's here. They did port it. They did get the rollback in, but fuck me.
You can play it.
Though, if the world wouldn't be a better place with a game that had the cast of 5, 4, 3 all fighting there, and then even a little bit of 2 and 1 to get some people freaking the fuck out.
Fucking crack. I was
saying the protagonists, right? To just get that full pop off going.
Persona didn't even have a first and second game. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're correct. Persona begins with Persona 1, which is the one that is being remade right now in blue. And Persona 2 was yellow, and Persona 3 was red. Correct.
Yeah. That's right.
Anyways, shout outs to Susie, the Sphere Hunter, who's now going to be in Cyberpunk 2077.
Looks like it's like... It's really weird to see somebody scanned into a game and be digitized.
Phantom Liberty. That is really dope. She's gonna be playing Stella, so big kudos on that. Now some of the like cryptic holy shit, I can't say anything but wow announcements make a ton of sense. Go Susie, go. That's awesome.
She was talking about it on Twitter earlier about how like she saw some of it, and it seems like CD Projekt, especially with Phantom Liberty, has like completely overhauled like every single system and NPC and environment in the game.
Great.
So Phantom Liberty is like its own little remastering.
Fantastic. That is very encouraging to hear. Don't Nod showed off a mountain climbing game where it seems to just be like a fantasy Alex Honnold simulator called Jusant. It's mountain climbing in a fantasy setting. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I'm just like, yo, that company has like the growth in size and budget capability has been astronomical. Like, Life is Strange made them so much cash that they've gone from like the Capcom small studio that made Remember Me to now publishing other games and having like at 4 or 5 pending things. So wow.
You know,
Okay.
despite them. Sorry, after you.
Oh yeah, this is Don't Nod is the company that made Life is Strange, right? Is that the game where where like you can go in the room and find like someone had written the Chun-Li like command list? Like, in one
as
of
like
the,
a cameo
it's
thing?
Like a,
Yeah,
it's like a okay, yeah, I remember playing that game. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they've basically exactly they've been expanding out into like not just the story narrative style things and blown the fuck up. Yeah, they're and you know a couple other things not really noteworthy. The Banner Saga folks announced Towerborn, which
Yeah, they're making Castle Crashers.
I saw Guardian Heroes essentially going on there. Yeah, sure. Why not? Clockwork Revolution. Yeah.
Okay, the noises you're making, you had the same weird internal gut feeling of like, are they just doing Bioshock Infinite again?
Don't take it from me, and don't take it from you. Take it from the person who cut the Bioshock trailers that worked on that game on Twitter, who made a thread going, watching this trailer is making me feel very weird. And then they posted a bunch of side-by-sides of like, here is I forgot the Vox Populi lady in Bioshock Infinite.
Daisy Fitzroy.
Here's the not Daisy Fitzroy. Here is the not Comstock poster moment.
Tell me you retweeted that because I want to look that shit.
I didn't, but it shouldn't be hard to find.
Dude, it made me feel like gaslit that like maybe Bioshock Infinite was like game I thought came out.
We have Bioshock Infinite at home actually. Down to they had like the obviously the town square with the statue. Like there's things where the idea of a this kind of dystopia, like progress tech world is, you know, zip lines and all that. Like you could have these echoing ideas. Certainly, there was that other one that came out recently, but the way the trailer was showing off certain moments and scenes, it was like, but you also opted for the moments that would make it seem the most Bioshock Infinite-ish.
I found the thread you're talking
about. You found the thread,
about.
right?
It is shot for shot, dude.
It's
like,
so
holy
strange.
Fuck.
If you're making a game that has the energy of something and is again Bioshock Infinite at home, why make the trailer also have such similar cuts and scenes? You know, wild. Yeah. I should have
point to the stands. Like Bioshock Infinite is probably the game that reviewed the best and like was loved the most on release. And aged like the worst of that whole era of video games. Like, why would you pick that as like we're gonna do it? We're gonna do it good this time.
Yeah, so that's Buttmac on Twitter, who did the thread where they were talking about it and putting the side by sides up. So yeah, Clockwork Revolution. I had that. I'm watching it like, whoa. Like, is there a part of this where you're like, did some team from Infinite work on this and then kind of go, wait, let's do it again, let's fix it this time, you know? Because I had that reaction to Party Animals going, why are you guys just doing Gang Beasts? And it turned out it was the same people doing a better version of their idea again.
Oh, is that what that is?
That's why Party Animals look so much like Gang Beasts. It's the same devs.
Oh, well
Yeah. Okay. You're like, oh, fine, got it, cool, no problem, you know? That makes sense. Whew. Yeah. So anyway, you know, and
fucking weird.
It was very, very strong, and those vibes. Someone said, "Hey, Wooly, you're getting 2 hi-fi rushes this year," and I was like, "What?" And then they showed Dungeons of Hinterberg, to which, I mean, that's a bit of a stretch, but it is a cell-shaded action game. And
I don't know. That is a real stretch.
Got some combat, but that's not what it's. A little more than a cell-shaded action game does not a hi-fi rush make, you know. So that comparison is already kind of just like, yeah,
that's silly.
Relax. But you know, I don't know. I feel as if that was kind of the deal. Is just like a bunch of stuff that was cutscene only. That it's, you know, why even bother going into it? And
oh, they showed off that God, what was it? John Carpenter's Dead Monsters or whatever the fuck.
Still Wakes the Deep?
I don't know.
No.
Oh man, it looked like trash. Like it was.
Wait,
just...
the filmmaker John Carpenter is he making games?
His name
Toxic
is on
Commando.
A game. His name is on a game. Yeah.
Okay.
Toxic Commando.
That is a thing.
And it's just like, somebody in my chat called it Back 5 Blood. And I was like, oh, okay, got it.
Okay. You know what was sick, though?
Yeah?
Fucking Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 has balloons in it?
Yeah, dude.
Yo! What? You can get a hot air balloon going. That's sick. I'm down. I don't know. That's fucking cool as shit, man.
You know, like, a balloon is just like a really big hot kite.
It's a big hot kite. All right? And for anyone that doesn't know, I'm down with some kites, right? Get into kiting games. This is what we do over here. I was very impressed was they showed off like, hey, it's the planes and here's every kind of plane. I'm like, yeah, I know. And they're like, we're doing not just everything plane related, everything airborne, including a hot air balloon. And I'm like, come again? What's up?
Well, so yeah, it's not plane simulator, right?
Flight. People will. In fact, I knew somebody who wanted to get their plane license, pilot's license, and so they would use Flight Simulator with a really expensive like setup to practice doing flights real time. You know, get a coffee, sit there, do the whole run, and I mean, I have no dreams of operating a hot air balloon anytime soon, but I certainly would be fucking curious to simulate that shit, you know? I don't know. We're not getting pilot wings back anytime soon, so...
No, probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if you saw or thought there's anything, you know, particularly of note besides all that, but Payday 3 was Payday.
I don't know much about those games. Apparently they're very good.
Starfield appears to be, though, like the biggest, like, we're going all in on showing you an hour of this, and I mean, I don't know if, like, are they going for this is going to be our Skyrim space, but also our Mass Effect, but also our...
No, it is like, very, very much not their Mass Effect.
Okay.
So I'm kind of a hater, but one of the things that really stood out to me watching the Starfield stuff is that it is like wildly human centric in that there are like no aliens.
Not a single fucking alien, huh?
Not a one.
You
the
can't
story
even bang
apparently
an
seems
alien.
to be about like maybe there's aliens, and it's like this seems like the bare minimum for a space story.
What the fuck
Is,
are we
is to talk
doing?
to like a weird alien.
Why are we going to space if we can't bang an alien? Like,
I don't know. I don't get it.
Holy shit! I didn't even realize until you just said it.
They
That is wild.
They showed off a lot. They showed off a lot of improvements from like Fallout 4, like a top-down view for a city creating or whatnot. And I went back and I found somebody comparing like the footage from last year and the footage from this year of like similar areas. And the areas look like they have been completely remade from the ground up. And my gut is that's what Phil Spencer was talking about in that interview a couple months ago, where he described that Microsoft didn't really impart to the Redfall developers just how serious Microsoft is about quality, but we got into Starfield real early and really imparted to the Starfield devs that Microsoft wants quality.
Well, nothing says quality like 30 FPS locked on consoles.
Yeah, well, that's not really surprising. It's a Bethesda game.
You know.
The real question is, if you pick up a sandwich off a table, does every other item on the table jump up a little
shoot
bit
into space
and then fall down?
Oh goddamn! Can we mod Macho Man into whatever the spaceships are gonna look like?
I feel like there was a line of dialogue from from Todd or somebody in there that was like kind of buried underneath them showing off the game that I feel like is really vital to set everyone's expectations. They described like, oh, there's thousands of there's 1,000 planets, and the planets can have all sorts of things on them, and when you land, your event that happens there might be different from somebody else's because the system is gonna generate quests for you. And it's like, oh, this is most of the fucking landmass in these planets is going to be a procedurally generated space with
where have I heard that before?
With what Bethesda calls radiant quests, which are quests that go and auto-generate objectives for you based off of your area. And people who've played Oblivion or Skyrim or Fallout 4 have played a lot of Radiant quests. They are filler. They are very bad. And they kind of said it out loud that, like, yeah, most of the game world is dreck.
Can we get a No Man's Sky name drop right around here? Or no?
I feel bad for Bethesda because they were working on this game before No Man's Sky came out. And the reaction to No Man's Sky and all the stuff that happened with that has annihilated people's tolerance for the phrase "there's thousands of planets and you can go anywhere."
Right. Bringing it back to the good version of it, even.
Yeah, like the skepticism built into people who played No Man's Sky when it came out is just off the charts.
You were gonna say, Gerald?
Yeah, I mean, whenever I heard the term procedurally generated, I immediately thought of No Man's Sky and just the reactions and everything. But I'm wondering, like, if the game got patched or changed since then, or I guess
there is a fantastic video series by internet historian called The Engoodening of No Man's Sky, which goes over the exhaustive journey over multiple years to basically fix a wildly fucked up game. And since that video, there have been updates like every 2 months. They've worked like 3 or 4 games worth into that game now. It's very, very impressive.
But the shadow remains cast, right? The taste is still in everyone's mouths, certainly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the things that really stood out is it was a Bethesda presentation, but it was like a lot of cuts, and they would say, "Look how vast the planets are," and they would do these panning shots. And I've played a lot of Bethesda games, and so has a lot of my audience. And the thing that really stood out is like they would do these pans, and the pan would show like a large forest or a large, desert or whatever. And there's nothing you could fucking see. You couldn't see a cave. You couldn't see a structure. You couldn't see a lake. It was just like, it looked like a really high-end version of the Mass Effect 1 planets. Just
big empty
expanse.
Yeah. Well, in any case, man, I you know, you hear me say it every single time with the fucking the cynical introduction of a concept trailer, but this time around, wait, please look forward to the real reveal of a lot of these games when the gameplay is shown. Otherwise, it's just a like, ooh, the theme of this concept seems interesting, or that's some great artwork. Shout outs to the animation team. But yeah, I don't know that, like, when it gets through the whole like 2-3 minutes, and then like you get like 2 seconds of gameplay, like as a pittance almost, I'm like, okay, well, at least we know it's the astronaut game. At least we know it's third person, and there's gonna be an attack, and there's gonna be a dodge. You know, you're like, okay, I have something, you know, to go off of. It feels as if like it's less than like under ready when you just get like the way they introduced what was it, South of Midnight, for example. But anyways, Naughty 3, that's your quick and dirty wrap up of that.